Welcome to ASCENT. Today, we will be doing a divine masculine mind reading. I think that this is pretty valuable information, whether you're watching this around the time it was posted or beyond. Check that date. My presence is my power. Okay. So we see the divine masculines learning something. Check that date. Make sure you ask yourself what was going on, because this is a major time. And as you know, if our journeys are cyclical, if we are mirroring people, if there truly are waves, we can get information, a lot of information, just by looking back through our text, camera roll, thinking about some of the things that we have experienced. We're going to get some questions from the tribe about the divine masculine here, direct questions, all concerning where they are, divine feminine. I believe that's going to be enough. So let's take a moment. What's going on with the divine masculine? And keep in mind, all of these things are not necessarily going to be reflective of where they are. It's kind of the opposite meaning. I was led to this deck because the last time we got a message from here, it was very profound. And it was directly from the divine masculine. I was very confused, but it worked. And I think that this is going to give us a lot of information about what they're dealing with. If you think your divine masculine's been going through some things, raise your hand, because this is definitely already starting. They're feeling powerless. I'll tell you that now. They're not doing okay with something. In the midst of a meltdown, I breathe through the discomfort and come out the other side. So divine masculine's having a little bit of trouble even taking a breath at this moment. Some of you know those moments. Some of you remember those moments in your journey. You know what it feels like to be saying, this is it. Like, it's never going to get better. This is my life. And it's almost that panic attack, anxiety attack. So this is, we see meltdown. We see looking forward and seeing darkness. That's where the divine masculine is. I don't know. I thought that they would be feeling a little frazzled, but that's kind of surprising. Maybe we can find out why. So the first question we're going to ask. All right. So what has changed in their mind that they do not want the divine feminine to know? What's different? Dissolve all boundaries with love. So something happened that has made them feel a very deep craving for connection. And this could be why many of you are feeling the divine masculine is going to reach out, or again, they're commenting. People check the comments from time to time. You'll see people say, my DM just contacted me in the middle of this reading. And I want you to realize I'm not telling you to watch my reading so they'll contact you. That I don't think that has anything to do with it. It's those moments for those people. But what I am saying is, by inviting in questions like this, where we try to understand the divine masculine, but also from a coach like me who says, now what can we do as the divine feminine? How can we get better? How can we make sure we're not making this stuff worse even in the future? That's where you know you're getting contacted. So it's not really about me or anything that you're getting even from these messages most of the time. You're already in the right vibration, and it's proof because of the channels that you're watching. So interesting that the divine masculines here don't really want you to know that this is how they're feeling. And that also could be an indication of how the communication comes through once you get it. Because if some of you do feel like maybe there's a little bit of a fight, well, first of all, they're in the midst of a meltdown and they're not really seeing the end. They may be reaching out finally out of desperation. And again, some of you might say, I don't really want to hear from them then. That's not how I want to talk to them. And I get that. But that's kind of also the point, is there may be some of you where that's where your divine masculines come to you and say, I've known I've needed you this whole time. And I know I'm sorry that is going to look that way to you and feel that way to you, because I get that. I think we all understand. Okay. But at the same time, when we're looking from the other side, it says, this is how your relationship might be meant to begin. And everyone has a different story. So don't be surprised if there is a contact, if there is a message that comes through very strong, especially if it's a full on 3D message, not just something you feel through the 5D. Don't be surprised if it might be laced with a little bit of tension, and it's not really about you, but in the same way it is. Because some of them can be mad at their divine feminine for not being there and not putting up with them. Some of them are disappointed that the divine feminine even would put up with them, and so there's guilt. The tension that's there is and is not about you, but it's nothing that you need to feel to take personally, okay? So keep this in mind. Hiding this from the divine feminine, but this means this is also what's really on their mind when it comes to you, is that they know they love you. That many of you still won't believe. And I get it. You think it's because they've done this or done that. And I tell you what, I have deep, seated trauma that I am just kind of recognizing is real, because I'm allowing myself to feel that about people who I still to this very day deeply love, like with my whole heart. So I need you to understand that people can love you and you can love them, and still it's not going to be the cookie cutter that we kind of put love into, especially when we think about our divine masculines. All right, next question. Let's look here. All right, what is the divine masculine being challenged by right now? I don't dance around the perimeter of the person I want to be. I step in fully and completely. Okay, well, how surprised are we that the divine masculine is kind of beating around the bush? They're taking a little while to become who they are. I think that's where some of you end up dealing with longer periods of no contact, separation, ghosting, weird communications. Did we say pseudo union? That kind of stuff. Because they're dancing. They got one foot in, one foot out. The change is nice and slow. They're waiting until they absolutely have to. And their challenge is they do not like this about themselves. This is ego or fear, inner child issues, their own trauma telling them they're safer to dancing around and being close to it because it still gets to kind of feel good. That's what they are telling themselves. That's what's in their head. But they also absolutely know, especially as things are getting worse or getting just feeling a little, what's happening? Like, why do I feel this way? And I can't explain. When you go through something like that and it creates a meltdown, that can be even more of a scary time that says, no, do not go over there. Because it seems like every time I get close to this, every time I get near the perimeter, I get a little shock. Nope, thank you. The ego has set up a shock collar that stops the divine masculine from crossing a certain border. Wow. Okay, what's next? How many of you feel that, by the way? How many of you could resonate with that? Put a dog. I'm not saying your DM is a dog, and that's not what we're putting out. But do put a dog and think about, some of you might even have that for your dog. I don't know. I'm not trying to judge you, but I just want you to think about that feeling of what it takes for that creature to know that there is a line you cannot cross. Interesting. I just see me not even paying attention here. Look, perimeter, boundaries. We're talking about someone almost kind of in a Truman Show vibe here. Someone who's starting to go to the very edge of their life and they don't like what they're finding. They might be actually trying to run back into the middle because I want comfort. There is nothing good on the other side of this wall. Wow, think about that even here. Other side. That constitutes some sort of boundary. Isn't this interesting? Okay. All right. What else do we need to know about the divine masculine? Who? No, that's not how is it? It's about the people that they're, how do I say this? What is their thoughts on the support system that they have, basically, right? It's the people that are around them right now. Wow. I show up for myself and the world. Okay, so it sounds like they don't really either have one or they don't believe that the support system they have is good for them. In fact, I will say this. I think for them, it would be an absolute freaking miracle if anyone ever showed up for them. And that's another reason why and look at the same colors even. Look at that. See? You and the freaking boundary issue that we have here of having to acknowledge and admit we're dissolving it and being able to embrace our truth with our divine feminine. You being the one person who shows up for them. And Mr. Lightwork, the truth is, he's the one person who's always showed up for me since I've ever known him. He has always shown up for me. I hated to admit it, even when it was, not going the way I wanted things to go, but it was the truth. But I know I was showing up for him. That's like, that's the thing. We would never question that, right? So think about that, divine feminine. Your divine masculine, if they don't show up for you, it's because they don't think anyone has support anyways. They don't even know that's a thing. And if they do show up for you and you also show up for them, it's scary. They're not used to that kind of thing. So this is interesting. The way that people in their life, the way they're looking at things this is me against the world in many cases, which again is kind of, I think that we see the boundary here, the wall that's up, the blockage. This is like a divine masculine, what would you call that? Like brainwashing, or there's something that we're looking through to understand. No, brainwashing isn't even the right thing, but it is. It's like about blockages of the mind, the things that are stopping them from following through with the thoughts that they're having. Wow. Okay. That oh, okay. All right. Hold on. Last thing. Well, I will say I do think this is what they're trying to communicate. I don't know why, but it just kind of, so let's come back here. I pray before I pay. I pray before I pay? Okay, hold on a second, guys. Okay, this is weird. So, this is the Miracles Now deck from Gabrielle Bernstein. She has a book called Miracles Now. And so I bought it just kind of from time to time to use with this when I do personal readings. And well, these I use with my coaching clients. So there's no readings you can get with this. Anyways, focus, Grace. Focus, Grace. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. When I went to the table of contents, number 11 is worry is a prayer for chaos. Let's just take one more second. Worry is a prayer for chaos. By worrying, you are technically praying for chaos. That is really, wow, right? And then, it's funny. It's on page 911. Okay, now, but here's the thing. This one, I pray before I pay, is on page 23, which is 52. Okay, so let me go here. I have to admit, I used to be one of those people who let the bills pile up. Yep, I was that one. Every month, the stack on my desk grew bigger and wobblier. Each time I looked at it, I felt pangs of frustration over having to pay them. Maybe it stemmed from an old fear of not having enough, or maybe I was just exercising my self-sabotaging muscles. Whatever the issue, it was a pretty awful monthly ritual. Then it became clear to me that oh my gosh, this is weird, that my bad habit was blocking me in many ways and creating unnecessary frustration and guilt. My bill pile was cluttering up my desk space, a real no-no. The ancient Chinese method of feng shui emphasizes releasing all clutter in the office space. Clutter has a profound impact on our emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. The value of clearing the clutter is that it releases vital energy that helps with mental clarity, inspiration, and even our earning capacity. So my first step toward healing my relationship with my bills was to clear the clutter off my desk. I gathered my pile of bills and organized each statement in a beautiful green box. If your bills are paperless, you can make a similar move with your email. Simply create color labels or folders for each bill and organize them as they come in, so you're never searching for the latest email statement. Once I was organized, I committed to bringing my spiritual practice to my monthly bills. I sat with my beautiful green box and prayed over each bill before cutting a check. I said, "Thank you, universe, for providing me with the resources to pay these bills. I am grateful to contribute to the economy and support my growing business." Simply saying this prayer before paying each bill energized me. I was infused with an attitude of gratitude rather than an essence of anxiety and tension. Now my bill paying process is much more enjoyable and my desk is clutter-free. To top it all off, as soon as I cleared my desk space, I started to notice many more new career opportunities come through. Money began to flow more freely once I cleared the space to receive it. If you're someone who experiences a lot of anxiety around paying bills, use these tips to bust through the block. Clear your desk and pray before you pay. Miracle message number 23, pray before you pay. 23, okay. let's make sure that if we're called to it, we look up angel number 1123. Also, there is some really interesting messages in this freaking thing we just read. The divine masculine has been going through a cycle. The midst of a meltdown. Think about the meltdown one has when they're looking through the pile of bills they haven't paid for the electric bill that they need to figure out because their lights just got turned off. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Their lights got turned off. Okay, hold on. Now I'm telling the divine feminine this, that the anxiety that I've been feeling is because I've been putting things off and I've been having a block. And I'm trying to bust through my blockage. I think that this is, I know this sounds weird, but there's an apology in here. This is I have created a problem. Now I'm trying to fix it, divine feminine. I've had these blockages. These were the barriers. In fact, there's one I don't even really want you to know. Wow. Wow, this is wild. Okay. I'm going to close this up and I'm going to move on. This was supposed to be a short, quick message. Those of you who stayed this long, put the prayer hands. This is a message for all of you to consider. What is your divine masculine trying to tell you about their blockages? You see how they feel about their support. You know that this is probably very much aligned to who your divine counterpart is. You know, I've got the coins over here, and it's making me think about the pentacles. It's really standing out. But I also see this death energy. And there's something happening. there's something going on that they know they need to release. They know they need to move on from. And it's creating this vibe right now that's saying, okay, I've got to change. I've got to make a change as soon as possible. I need to do this ASAP. They're changing their atmosphere. They're moving things around. They're getting their life decluttered, getting rid of the things that don't serve them. They're doing everything they can so that they can knock these walls down. So ask yourself why they just delivered that. You might need to re-listen to what I read. And you might need to consider that this is them speaking from a 5D, 3D mix, because I do get a sense of both coming through. And I really feel that King of Pentacles 5D, but in the 3D, they don't realize. This is more Four of Pentacles. So this is still coming from a place of struggle. I think they want you to know this. I think they wish that you knew this. This is what they're coming to communicate to you. Whether it is saying, I'm sorry, whether it is, that actually came through in a message last week. Ooh. All right. If you've been around, you already know that this is big. You probably already have an idea of where this is going. I'll stop. I'm going to get out of here after I do this. Boom. TheFieryGrace.com. That's my website. Go to the monthly specials, where you will see, at least right now, 50% off a bunch of different stuff. Got readings, personalized stuff as low as like $30. You know what I'm saying? $27, man. So if you're like trying to do something, whatever, bro, let's do it. Okay, cool. All right. This was dope. This was interesting. I'm glad the divine masculine was willing to open up about this. I'm going to give whoever's still here a little special bonus message, okay? We're just going to pull one. When I shine bright, I give others the permission to shine with me. If I want to feel supported, I must support myself. I make decisions from a place of intuition and power. This is where they're trying to get to. They're trying to get to a place where this is not a problem. And my happiness can be measured by my level of my faith in love. I feel like this is kind of... This is the clarifier for anybody who needs it, okay? Yeah, that's how that goes. All right, I'm out of here for real this time. I truly, truly love you guys with all my heart, and I pray that this message was a massive, massive blessing, huge download-inducing message that comes through and hits you right where you need it. I hope that your divine masculine's communication comes because they know it's simply the right thing to do, because the truth is, whenever they lose their power, they can definitely find it back with you. I love you. Talk to you later. Peace.